All right, everyone. We're here with one of our GLIC employees, Mitra, during August, which is National Breastfeeding Month. Mitra is going to share with us a bit about her journey in breastfeeding.
Thanks, Lauren. I'm Mitra Cersei. I work here for the Gerald Ignace Indian Health Center for 8 years. My anniversary was a couple days ago. I have 4 children. One is about to be 25, a boy. My daughter's next in line. She's going to be 21. Then next in line is my 13-year-old who'll be 14. She's also a daughter. And then my last daughter is 3, going to be 4. The first 2 I did not breastfeed with. It was kind of like the stigma that you didn't breastfeed, that wasn't like a good thing to do. It was more pushed upon us at that time, well, myself anyway, to bottle feed with Similac. That was, Similac. So that's what I did for the first 2. The third child, so my second daughter, I think breastfeeding started becoming more popular again, or they realized that Similac wasn't, the greatest thing since sliced bread that they were trying to pitch for some. And so it was, presented to me like, oh, you should consider breastfeeding. And this was early on during some OB appointments. And I was like, absolutely not, that's disgusting. And my OB at the time, and actually for all of my kids, same guy, he said, why would you say that? And I'm like, I thought it was kind of gross to have your child, sucking on your boob while you're feeding them. So I just felt like it's not something I wanted to do. And then he kind of like explained to me the benefits of it, had some, I guess now they would call them like a breastfeeding coach, I don't know what they were calling them at the time, come in and kind of make me feel better about it, and just kind of say that, probably when I had my first 2 children, someone probably made me feel like that because they really were pushing the whole formula thing at the time, and that it's more natural and healthier and more of a bonding experience to actually breastfeed your children. And so I did some more independent research on it, asked a couple of friends that I knew that were really into it, and they shared their experiences, and so I decided to do it. And I did, and it was great. I do feel closer to her as well as the 3-year-olds. The only misfortune I feel is that I probably didn't receive enough information on like having to pump all the time. Like that's something that you should do. Like when you feel that you're full, you should pump, because I kind of dried up by 4 months, so I didn't get to give her the full duration of breastfeeding that I know that they at least want you to try and do at least a year. So I was a little bummed out about that, and it actually discouraged me for the next time when I had my last child of breastfeeding. But then I had a really good coach who had breastfed all of her children, and she had 6 kids, and she had breastfed them all, and she had some really great helpful tips on the whole pumping situation and on what pumps to use and which ones were better and easier, especially for working moms, because I was a working mom and I knew I'd have to be coming back to work and pumping in my office or in a designated area. So that gave me a little bit of anxiety when I had to figure that out. But having a really good breastfeeding coach was key this time, because I was more successful. Although I only went to about 7 months, that was still successful for me because I had gone back to work earlier. I didn't stay out the whole 90 days. And so just the knowledge of having that. And honestly, and my 2 older kids, I know it's kind of weird to say this, but I do feel closer to the youngest, the 2 younger ones. And I think that they have some type of bond with me too, because we're very close. It's a different relationship, I feel like, than with the other 2. And that might not solely be the reason for it, but I'm sure it has a really big part to do with it. So I strongly recommend it, and if you're on the fence about it, find somebody that's really knowledgeable about it. There's tons of information online if you Google it, on tips and tricks and things to keep your milk flowing and things, foods that you can eat that can help you. But I wish I would have known or had better guidance for the first two, because I definitely would have breastfed them all.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mitra, for sharing with us your story.
You're welcome.